Hello, my name is James, and this is my beautiful daughter, Lucy. And I am known more commonly as the Iron Cowboy. And I am known for doing endurance feats, more specifically the Ironman distance race and endurance feats across the world. An Ironman distance triathlon consists of a 2.4-mile swim, a 112-mile bike ride, followed by that standard 26.2-mile marathon run. In total, that equals 146 miles. Now that has to be all accomplished by you. Now this isn't a picture of me, but I put that in there for the ladies. You're welcome. This is what a typical Ironman swim looks like. It's chaotic, it's violent. I promise you will get kicked in the face and you will get swam over. It'll take your typical fit athlete anywhere from 50 minutes to 2 hours to complete this 2.4 miles. That's the equivalent of 10 times around your high school track. Don't walk it, but swim it. Once you've dragged yourself out of the water, you have to get on your bike. You have to now bike that 112 miles. That will take an average athlete anywhere between 5 hours to 8 hours to complete. I don't know about you, but I don't even like to watch TV for 8 hours, let alone ride my bike. After you finish that grueling 112, then you're going to get off, you're going to put on your sneakers, and you're going to run or walk or crawl that 26.2 miles, whatever way that you can possibly do it. Now you're probably sitting there wondering, why would anybody want to do this? Because this is what it does to most fit athletes. To the average person, it does even worse. Why all that time, all that sacrifice? It's so that you can feel just like this. Now, I've had a lot of experiences in my life, but very few of them have given me that excitement and that passion and that feeling at the end of an Ironman. In so much that in 2012, I set out on a world journey and I did 30 full Ironmans through 11 countries in 1 year. And on my 6th event of that year, I learned a very valuable lesson. It was here in this very state of Texas. I jumped in the water and I swam the 2.4 miles. I got out in 12th position and jumped on my bike, and I started to bike aggressively through the field. And as I passed athletes, I got excited. And I made my way to the front of the field and ended up taking the lead of the race. I made it all the way to mile 100 when I got an intense cramp in my right quadricep. It was so violent and so painful it made me stop. And I had a decision to make. Was I going to quit? Or was I going to bike the remaining 12 miles with just one leg? And I decided to continue on and bike those last 12 miles. And I thought to myself, if I just make it to the end of the 112 and start running, maybe I'll be able to finish that marathon, possibly hang on to the lead. And so I start running. But I know my body, my heart rate is super high, and as I progress mile through mile, the cramp starts to move from one quad into my other quad, and into my hamstrings and into my calves. My arms started to curl up. And all at one moment, at mile 17, every muscle in my body seized up and I hit the ground. The pain was excruciating and I couldn't move my body. Medical staff rushed in and started helping me. I saw my friend walk over to me and he's got his cell phone in his hand. And he looks down at me and he says, "James, it's your wife." And for those of you that don't know my wife, Sunny, she does not take no for an answer. And I knew if I got on that phone, she was going to make me get up and finish this race. So I politely said, "No, thank you." Tyrell walked away and I could see him pacing in the background. 5 minutes later, he comes back, cell phone in his hand again. He says, "James, it's your daughter. It's Lucy." My wife's smart. She knew I couldn't say no to my daughter, Lucy. And I said, "Hello, Lucy." And she goes, "Dad, you told me it was a world record. You told me you were going to do 30 Ironmans in 1 year. Can you walk and finish the race?" I said, "Lucy, I can't." It broke my heart. And she goes, "Dad, can you crawl? Can you crawl and finish?" I said, "Lucy, I can't." There's a long pause on the phone. And as a 9-year-old girl, she goes, "Dad, can you cartwheel? Cartwheel. How is it possible that a 9-year-old girl had so much belief and so much conviction that I could possibly do the simplest of tasks and cartwheel 9 miles and finish the race? And this time my answer was different. I pulled the IVs out of my arm. I stood up and I started to walk through the night, step after step. And I got to within 100 feet of that finish line. And guess what happened to me? That's right, I cartwheeled over that finish line, and I got stronger and stronger as the years progressed, and we made it through all 30 events that year. And it's all thanks to my beautiful daughter, Lucy.
Good afternoon. My name is Lucy Lawrence, and I'd like to thank you all for coming. To start, I'm going to tell you about my relationship with my dad. Me and my dad are very close, and I've always looked up to him, especially in setting goals. And one of the best ways he's taught me is not by saying, but by doing. During the 50-50-50 this summer, I could tell it was incredibly hard for my dad physically to do what he did. But I knew it would have been impossible if he wasn't just as strong mentally. So today I'm going to talk about whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. This summer, I set a goal to run 55 Ks in 50 states in 50 days. And guess what? I did it. But if you add up all that mileage, it adds up to 155 miles. And I didn't know that at the time, but if someone would have told me, I would have been like, 150 miles? Can I run 150 miles? And I probably would have given up right then, or there would have been a higher chance of me giving up later on. But I didn't think that way, and I came up with these 4 steps to follow instead. Step 1, set a goal. No one can reach their highest potential unless they set goals. Step 2, start the goal. You can't finish a goal unless you start one. And then step 3, take little steps. If you start too big, you'll be overwhelmed. Like, I didn't think of the total miles I'd be running, but I knew I could run a 5K. And then step 4, look back, and you did it. You just accomplished your goal. So since I followed these steps, I did accomplish 55 Ks in 50 states in 50 days. Not only did I accomplish something super awesome, but I had so much fun while doing it. During the 50-50-50, my dad was gone a lot, and those 45 minutes a day was the time I got to spend with him, tell him what the family was doing, how they're doing. And even though he didn't really need it, I got to hold his water bottle because I always wanted to do something for him. So if you follow these 4 steps, never give up, and believe in yourself, you can do anything. Because whether you think you can or can't, you are right.
Now, you heard Lucy talk about the 50-50-50. Now, what that was I did 50 full iron distance triathlons in 50 consecutive days, 1 in every state. In order to accomplish this, we had to start as a family in Hawaii. We started at midnight, and I did the 14-hour Ironman, got on an airplane, flew to Alaska, landed at 6 a.m., was in the water by 7 a.m. Finished that event, got on an airplane, landed in Washington at 5 a.m., was in the water by 6 a.m. Drove from Washington to Oregon, 3 days, 3 states, 3 Ironmans, total of 6.5 hours of sleep on commercial airline in coach with 5 kids. On that 4th day, I swam the 2.4 miles. I biked the 112, and I ran the first 23 miles. Every single day at 7 p.m., we did a 5K that we invited the public out to do to raise money for childhood obesity. As I approached Lucy on that day, on day number 4, she could see that I was broken, that I was completely exhausted. And she walked up to me and she said, "Dad, how are you doing?" And I said, "I'm tired, Lucy." And she goes, "I'm going to run all 55 Ks with you. And together, we can do this. And you won't see one picture on the 50 where Lucy isn't standing right beside me, making sure that I'm okay, encouraging me every step of the way." It's your life, and we are living ours. And now it's your turn. As adults, we tend to complicate things. The secret to success is in the little things. I've been entrusted to raise this beautiful young woman, but she's taught me the most valuable of life lessons. And as I progressed through my 50 states in 50 days, there was many dark moments, many lonely hours spent on the bike. But I only needed one reason to keep moving. And it was my 7 o'clock appointment every single day with my daughter. And as we progressed through the states and got closer to the 50th finish line, I could hear my daughter saying, "Dad, together we can do this." And a song came on the radio, and it quickly became our anthem. I'm coming home.
I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I know my kingdom awaits, and they've forgiven my mistakes. I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming.
Success isn't complicated. It is achieved in the mind much quicker than realized physically.
This is a lesson that I had wished I had learned earlier in my life. And it's thanks to Lucy that I've been able to learn this valuable lesson. Whether you think you can or you can't,
you're right.
You guys have been awesome. Thank you. Have a great day.